Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there in the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Brakadi Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash, Brakatham. So, out here another week prophesying the downfall of America, Babylon the Great in the scriptures, and a lot of prophecy taking off. This being the year of prophecy, we're going to see a lot more, I'm sure everyone who's a watchman saw that there was a nuclear strike on Beirut last night, during the daytime, which would be, there's an 11-hour difference between here on the Pacific coast versus, their timeline, so that's about 11 hours difference. Nonetheless, though, a nuclear strike did happen, and they're saying that 3,000, injuries and at least 50 or more deaths, as they'll get the numbers in. It may be a smaller nuke, but nonetheless, it's still a tactical nuke. So it's a nuclear strike, And so they are trying to keep this, quiet to the best of their abilities. But they're calling it other things like volcano blast or an act of terrorism. Well, it is an act of terrorism, but no doubt it's Mossad that had done this, that it was a strike on Hezbollah, because, of course, man, the least the flock is drawing everybody into this war. And it's, the war to end all wars, a.k.a. Armageddon, the mountain troops, because we know that Amalek, their secret as to how they stay in power. They can use nukes and everything else, but nobody else can, Saddam Hussein, no, he's, what was the reason? Oh, because he had weapons of mass destruction. But it was Israeli state, Amalek, that used nuclear weapons. They used one on Donetsk, when they had attacked Ukraine. They used a nuclear weapon against Donetsk. And then, of course, their continued war on Yemen. They used a nuclear weapon there, too. Everybody saw that. That was about 5 years ago. So they've been using the smaller nukes. And that's another thing, though, is that when these bombs start going off, though, the smaller ones are probably the ones that are going to get here faster. So again, towns may be blown up, It's kind of like if you watch the Star Wars movie and you see that, okay, that's not the full destruction of the Death Star, but nonetheless, though, still can blow up whole towns. And that's how these nuclear missiles are, They'll use the smaller ones first, and then they'll eventually bring out the bigger ones, because we know that eventually Damascus ceases from being a city, becoming a ruinous heap, and that it's the least of the flock that's drawing everybody in. So it's most likely an Israeli strike, Maybe they fire that from the Golan Heights. Nonetheless, though, at that same time, Babylon is destroyed, the mother of harlots. And so we got all that going on. You got a hurricane, and they call him Hurricane Isaiah, that's coming in wreaking havoc as well. So a lot of things are taking place. And you've, of course, got hyperinflation where gold and silver are going up big time, So all those things are taking place because the Most High is visiting this place. Oh, and let's not forget the drone strike in China. Yeah, there was a drone strike there. They say it's a laser blast, but nonetheless, though, what can create these laser blasts? Drone strikes, right? So, wars all around. Wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. Strange weather events. So, yeah, of course, like everything else, though, this, work crew over where I normally teach, so I just kind of moved over here to another part of the walk trail. So, that's just it, though, is that, you use good discretion. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to get in their way, 6 feet apart, social distancing and all that. I'm not going to give them any reason to fuck with me, because it's just so many things going on, and, well, we got other things taking place, in prophecy, so many things that are popping off, ID 2020, the deadlines for the microchip implants, and that's another thing is Shasta County is beta testing a lot of these vaccines, getting them ready, the volunteers, Well, not going to happen here at Great Millstone. We're not going to volunteer because we're not retarded. A lot of other camps like IUIC might tell you it's okay to take a fucking vaccine, if you need to go here or there, And that's just it. You can't get anywhere without a COVID pass. That's what they call the program, COVID pass. You're not going to be able to enter a city until you have a COVID pass. You know, that's eventually going to be worldwide, but they tested it in where? Africa, they said? Isn't that interesting, though? So COVID pass, you know, you have to use that. And France is not even letting people in there unless they quarantine for a couple of weeks. See, you won't be able to get into a city. And travel is definitely a lot more restricted than it ever used to be because of the coronavirus hoax. And then you got Donald J. Trump saying that he may just, delay elections, which we know all that's a dog and pony show anyways, and there's no doubt that he's going to win re-election anyways. I mean, pretty much, though, this would be the guy to start World War III. Now, I know that Joe Biden wants the same thing as Donald J. Trump does, you know, the New World Order and everything else, but he's not as egotistical as Donald J. Trump. But he's not stupid. I mean, he knows about the New World Order, and he's spoken of it, and he's spoken of the microscopic tags to be implanted in everyone. You know, so he's a very powerful person, too. He's just not as good a speaker as Donald J. Trump. But that's all, you know, for show. Yes, Donald J. Trump is the entertainer, you know, that they brought in, you know, the apprentice, all those things. And boy, he's fired a lot of people, hasn't he? You know? But you see, that's just it, though, is that he said he was going to make America great again, right? And his current campaign is Keep America Great. Well, that's funny because he ain't the one running shit now. Fuck he is. Fuck he is the one that's running shit, and fuck he is now saying that you got to wear goggles on top of the fucking fake mask. You know, so, you know, that's coming out as well. So you could just totally look like a walrus when you're fucking walking around. Totally retarded. You could dare to be stupid. You know, if you've seen the video Dare to Be Stupid, you know, it's an older one, but it shows people wearing goggles and all kinds of shit, man. Because, of course, this whole thing is stupidity. People are afraid of a fucking virus that doesn't even exist, but you see, that's how powerful the television medium is. Forget about your Ouija boards and all that. Your television is your Ouija board, man. You got all the letters and numbers there, man. You know, used to be VHF 2 through 13 and then UHF 14 through 83. But, man, they got way more, 500 plus channels on everything, right? Then you got internet, and nonetheless, though, that's the boob tube, you know? That's the modern-day Ouija board. But you see, everything is falling into place. The mark of the beast, make no mistake about it, it's going to be mandatory very soon here. Eventually, it won't be voluntary. But that's how they start things out, gradually. They voluntarily make it. Well, Michigan's made some new laws, too, you know, concerning brain microchipping, you know, brain implants, you know, for listening to music and downloading things to your brain. They made it totally legal there. So, that's all out there. You know, and Michigan seems to be the state with fuck Gretchen, you know, making everything. So, a lot of things taking place. And a lot of people think that we're in the second lockdown. We ain't even done with the first fucking lockdown, man. You know, pretty much, though, it was a gradual reopening, and then what did fuck Newsom do? He fucking closed everything again because he was never going to reopen it to begin with. The movie theater is dead, man. Ain't no new movies coming out. These are all movies that was already recorded. They ain't recording any new movies anymore. They don't have to. They have enough bread and circuses out there. So, you know, now you got the sports coming out, and soon NFL will be running, you know. And they're going to see more and more imperialism, a.k.a., you know, more kneeling before the flag, you know, showing, you know, America's superiority, you know. Used to be that the national anthem would come on, you know, and they just sort of stood there, you know, with a hand over their heart, and that was it. Then they would come out, to, you know, to get on the football field. But you see, they're changing all that. They want you to submit to their New World Order. And the New World Order, you know, pretty much, man, that's what it says on the back of the dollar bill. So this is that place of Sodom and Egypt spiritually, where our power was crucified, you see, because we weren't taught that we were Israelites. We was taught we was Gentiles and that everybody could come into the truth, right? We were given plantation Christianity. You know, we were taught that everyone was created equal. Well, except for niggers, spics, and wetbacks, you know, pretty much, you know, that they don't have the same equal rights, you know. You know, we've been called every name in the book, you know, and Israelite foreigners. Well, you know, we get called names too, you know. because we get called nigger lover, all kinds of shit, because, hey, man, we have more in common there because we're Israelites too, We just happen to look like the other nations. But, man, look at how much they disrespected Vanilla Ice because, he was an Israelite foreigner, and the same thing with Eminem and others, But you see, now all this is backfired on Esau, Now it's more popular to hang out with Jake than it is around an Edomites, man. You see, that's just it, though. We have that joy that we bring to everybody, We're a blessing to anybody that knows us, When they're depressed, man, I've heard so many stories. I've heard people come to me, And they're like, well, how did you deal with all that? I don't know. I just did it. It's just a part of it. Well, now I understand why I've endured things way before anybody else has. Look at Jacob's trouble, though. Eviction moratoriums had ended last week, and just pretty much, man, they're bracing for impact when it's like, well, I'd already dealt with this shit at the end of last year, that I had to relocate, Had to give up a lot of stuff to downsize to the current apartment that I'm in. Had to go live on somebody's couch. I've already dealt with this shit, And so it's just getting me prepared for the time when that's not even going to be an option. It's all about, pretty much taking your cross and bearing it, man. And that's just it, It's everybody's got their own cross to bear, and eventually, man, we're going to be all on our own anyways. And, the Most High, He's going to protect us in that day. And we do have faith in that, We're not just, well, I sure hope He protects me, No, we, diligently do this is how we make our call for election sure. And we're always prophesying, and we're always looking at prophecy. So, yeah, a lot of people probably don't even know about that nuclear attack on Beirut because, again, the news is filled with the coronavirus hoax. And then, of course, Black Lives Matter, the events in Portland, Seattle, all those things. It's the only thing that the news ever talks about. In fact, I know a lot of people that just stopped watching the news because they were fucking tired of hearing about the fucking coronavirus, A lot of people are just getting fucking tired because that fiddle's been played to the very end. And they're going to keep on playing that fiddle anyways because, it's not for the smart people. It's for the retards that actually believe everything they hear on TV, getting them scared. Because by fear, they will get the vaccine. By fear of a virus that doesn't even exist. So, that's what Esau does via his witchcraft, which is the boob tube, the TV, the television programming. They're programming people. Jeremiah 49, verse 7, it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Again, man, people are trying to find answers to everything, but there's no solution. The wisdom has vanished from this place. They don't have the answers. Well, you have to do this and that, Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. Most High is visiting us in every way form. All these events taking place, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes in diverse places, the Most High is visiting this place, and you're seeing them chariots pop up everywhere. If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. For thus saith the Most High, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. And that's why these eviction moratoriums have been. Sure, it affects our people, but it's also affecting these Edomites, man, because they were dependent upon that government money. They were dependent upon, all these things, They were dependent. But you see, what's happening, though, is the Most High is shutting this place down. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Most High, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse. And all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. Yeah, this place is going to be destroyed. That little blast that just happened in Beirut is just one of many things that's going to come. Eventually the bigger bombs are going to come, and they're going to destroy this place, as well as all of Edom. All of Edom's going to be destroyed. Tel Aviv, all them places. I have heard a rumor from the Most High, and an ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, gather you together and come against her and rise up to the battle. And that's what's happening now. Pretty much, though, is they're all getting ready for the battle. They're preparing their defenses. They're buying S-500s, S-400s, S-300s, S-200s. They're getting their protection from Russia, Magog. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Everybody hates the Zionists. Everybody hates Amalek. Everybody hates America. And they're getting ready. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, the house to the height of the hill, thou that shouldest make thy nest as the eagle. I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Most High. Again, man, Esau's exalted himself to be above everyone else. Changed our images and put his up, and he considers himself God, and that everything that worships him. The images, all of those things. Caesar Borgia on down to the flag. Everything worships him. But you see, the Most High is going to destroy this place, because that's exactly what happened back during the time of Nimrod. The Tower of Babel, and this is modern day Babylon. That's what Esau's done. He's made himself to be like the Most High. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. So Edom is talking about all the Edomites. This whole place of Idumea is going to be destroyed. The main place is America, but all the other cities thereof shall be destroyed. That's what the scriptures say. Everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at the plagues thereof, as in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof. Again, man, America is going to be destroyed, and many other cities are going to be destroyed. All the places that Edom has invaded, and taken over and destroyed. No man shall abide there, neither shall son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong. Again, Yahushua and the angels are returning, and they've been watching this place for quite some time, and they've been making their appearances known. Everybody has videos of what they like to call UFOs and has seen them, and they're scared. But I will suddenly make him run away from her, and who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is the shepherd that will stand before me? Talk about Yahushua, because he's the only one that can stand before Yahweh. Therefore hear the counsel of the Most High, that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath taken against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, Amalek, shall draw them out, and shall make their habitations desolate with them. Everybody knows that nuclear strike on Beirut was Amalek, was Mossad. It was a Mossad operation. Everybody knows that, because Mossad eventually, it just came out, nope, wasn't us. Well, then who could it be? Who's an enemy of Hezbollah? Because it's not Russia, nope. It's not Lebanon, nope. Why would Lebanon attack itself, right? No, only these gutter rats, the Mossad would do that. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out and make their habitations desolate with them. Again, man, they're going to try to cover this up and say that it was a volcano blast. Some are trying to say it was fireworks. Now that's funny. Fireworks my ass. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Bosra. This is talking about that flying continent that Chris Green described, and he's described it in quite a few of his videos, that he had this vision, And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. So at the same time, while this place is being compassed, Damascus is being destroyed, man. At least the flock drawing everybody into this. An Israeli strike on Damascus. Concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded, and Arpad, for they have heard evil tidings. They are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea. It cannot be quiet. Damascus is waxed feeble and turned herself to flee, and fear has seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. How is the city of praise not left, the city of my joy? Therefore her young men shall fall in her streets, and all the men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord of hosts. Yeah, because of the way that the Most High is coming back in that huge chariot. You see, the men of war is going to be cut off because they're going to want to fight against him. That's why there's a space force. But at the same time, I will kindle a fire in the wall of Damascus, and it shall consume the palaces of Ben-Hadad, which is another term for Syria. So, Syria is going to be destroyed in that same hour that America is being destroyed. Because again, Syria set up their place to be like Babylon. Their women don't even cover their faces anymore. So, they wanted to be like America, In fact, there's 3 popular languages besides Arabic. You got the French and you got the English. Those are very popular languages there. And yes, a lot of them even know the Spanish language. I used to get the Syria news in English, but they kind of stopped that. And that's all government run anyway. So, there is no such thing as governments fighting each other. It's just been a war on the people to make you think, though, that these countries are at war. It's just a war on the people, man, enslaving them. The Syrian refugees, ISIS, all those things. They're all proxies. And they're all led by the New World Order. Look, if Russia wanted to destroy ISIS, they would have already destroyed ISIS. But you see, this war is just going to go on because it's a game plan. It's a game plan. The Most High is drawing all these countries near. Now, Magog will fire its missiles upon this place along with all the other nations. That's a game plan. Albert Pike, who, did converse with the spiritual demon Satan, got the whole layout on how they would do it. That you would have the Ishmaelites, a.k.a. the Islam, fighting against Christianity, fighting against Zionism. And they would all be drawn into this war. He had already seen all this and laid it out because, well, the scriptures talk about it. Words are a little bit different, but they all speak about the same thing, The least of the flock, Amalek, will draw everybody in it because the Zionists are the most hated of all. They're not recognized as the Jews. You see, the rest of the world knows that those Zionists are not the Jews. That the real Jews are Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, a.k.a. the Jews, or, the Northern Kingdom. They know who the real Jews are. And it's not Amalek. Nah, man, you even had Hosea Barak come out and say, they left black and came back white. He said that, because he's letting you know, though, that straight out the gate, man, that those are not the real Israelites. Nah, and the Northern Kingdom was safe here in Arsareth for a time, and then the devil was loosed from his prison. Satan was let out to rule for a short time. And then Christopher Columbus came over here, colonized, destroyed the villages, and then set rulership over us. We were all dwelling safely here. The Northern Kingdom was. But you see, that's how it became Babylon the Great. And they don't want you to know anything about that. Nor will they talk about it in their seminars or anything else, because they took the Apocrypha out because it went into Antiochus Epiphanes and other things that took place under the Edomite rulership. They didn't want you to know too much about Edom. They wanted you to think that Edom was done away with a long time ago. But then they won't answer your bigger questions. Well, how can Edom be done away with when they're the last kingdom? And who is this Roman Empire? But then even their Zionist scholars, these Amalekites wrote books too, about Edom being Rome. That's why they made them hard to get, Brother Malcolm, elder Brother Malcolm, still has one of those books. And he has another book too, which are now very rare, And he reads from them from time to time, And there's a lot in those things going into the history, and you can line it right up with the Apocrypha, with the Bible. So you see, there isn't too many more prophecies that need to take place before that final day of judgment. Now that, you start out with the Soleimani murder, there's an arrest warrant for the king of Babylon, Donald Trump, for that, which he was just doing the biddings of Mossad, because those are his handlers. Because Mossad, Israeli state, Amalek, is at least the flock drawing everybody into this conflict. And that's how America is going to get destroyed, by getting involved in things, you see. But that's what they want. Also, the second lockdown is coming. That one hasn't happened yet, but when it does, nobody's getting out of that one, This is where the hour of temptation comes in. Are you going to take that mark? Are you going to take the mark of the beast? Or are you going to stand out? Are you willing to die for this truth? This is where we're all going to be tested. Sure, we could talk about it. But when push comes to shove, then the Most High is going to know who was really on fire and who wasn't. Lukewarms have been chased out for quite some time now. Which is why Apostle Tahar declared last year that there would be no new members in Great Millstone, because you had too many bug outs. So a lot of people have already bugged out, and they ain't in this truth, you know. Especially, you know, when, this coronavirus thing got started, man. A lot of them just folded. And we already know, man. Those other camps, man, they only come out only during certain seasons. They won't come out during the winter. And they really just, they just want to be seen of men, you know. And they do partner themselves up with Esau's plans. But you see, we're not affiliated with them, you know. You cannot tie Great Millstone to any of those other camps. We stand out. The only ones that are drawn to us would be the Men of Valor and a few other camps. But they also pay respects, double honors to the Elden Apostles of Great Millstone, because they know. They know that those are the true teachers of Yasha today. So you see, we're very few. And we're the most hated camp of all because, of course, man. You know? We're not here to bring you good news, to bring you joy. We're here to tell you what you need to do to prepare for that day and hour. I mean, it's all about preparing for that day and hour. Because the hour is drawing near. You know, you're starting to see more tactical nukes used. And you're going to see bigger explosions. And, of course, they may cover up this whole Beirut thing, but that's just one of many things. And they may cover up the laser blast in China and say that it's something else. Looks to me like a drone strike. But they're going to cover it up. And you may not even get those stories because, of course, all your news stations are just going to be covered with the coronavirus hoax or covered with Black Lives Matter. You know, like that's all that there is. When they're doing it on purpose. Because, of course, you know, this is the time of awakening. And they're looking to shut down this thing. I'm already on another channel. I only opened up that new channel in March, by the way. And then this channel I'm open up near the end of March because they were already starting to fuck with the new channel I just got in March. So March 31st, I created this channel, Israelite Foreigner 3. You know, because Israelite Foreigner Rating now has 2 strikes on it. And it may be on its way out. So, you know, get this while you still can. Which is why we diligently come out and teach, you know. And we don't know where we're going to teach the next time. You know, some of the places that we may want to go to, well, we might not be able to teach there, so we might have to pitch tent elsewhere. So the only way to really get this is, well, that's just it, is to really, the Most High is shutting the door on this. The gates of mercy are closing, you know, because again, you know, you would have to have gotten all that information, you know, the BitChute and all those other things. The BitChute is not as big as the YouTube. They want us off of YouTube, you know, but I do back up everything on YouTube. This thing ain't going to be around forever, you know, and we eventually may not even be able to go out and teach, you know. Especially after the second lockdown happens and there's martial law and FEMA troops are on the streets. They're already bringing in FEMA troops. Martial law had already been called on Portland and in Seattle. So we know the troop has already come in there. Now they say that everything's gone back to a peaceful protest. Well, that whole thing was a stage anyways. You see, the reason why the bigger things aren't happening is because, of course, man, they want to give everybody the illusion of the election. They only keep the elections there to give people the illusion that they voted, you know. And what if the guy that you voted for doesn't win? Well, you know, okay, we'll get him next time. And people do this every 4 years, you know. They stop everything to go and vote for a system that doesn't work anyways, for a system that's fake. But you can't convince them that it's fake. Yeah. A lot of people think that Donald Trump is really for America. He's for himself. That's why he's hiding in the bunkers, you know. And that's why, you know, he shut down everything. You know, and now he wants to shut down TikTok. You know, that's another one that he really hates. You know, he wants to shut down all media platforms that speak against him, you know. You can't just do what I say, you know. So as long as, you know, and that's why Alex Jones and all the others are with him, you know, and that's why Chris Green will bow down before Trump and say, well, I support the president and everything he does, even though he's doing all these things that are wrong, you know, but I still support the president, you know, Chris Green will say with a disclaimer. Man, we here at Great Millstone, we don't compromise our message, you know, to appease others. We don't have any handlers. See, that's just it. We're not a 501c3. You know, Nate going out there and saying that, you know, they're hypocritical because they're going to get their stimulus check, that's the same thing as 501c3. No, our message hasn't changed. And that's another thing, is that the digital wallet and digital dollar will come of this. That's why the coin shortages and everything. So we do teach a lot about the mark of the beast being made mandatory very shortly here. It starts out voluntarily, then it becomes mandatory. And hey, COVID pass, that'll eventually be mandatory for every city. A COVID pass, it basically means that you've been vaccinated and that you have RFID tracking to make sure that you've been tested for everything, and they can scan you at any time. Everything will be facial scans. That's what their plan is with this pandemic. So I hope all this has been edifying like everything else. Prophecy is taking off. And this being the year of prophecy, we're going to see a lot more. For that, I want to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Baz Shem Rakakadash, Wa Abad Babal. Barakatum Yehovah Olek. Shalom.